Today, I will be teaching you how to never want to play guitar ever again. Let's get into it. First, let's start with the why. Well, you obviously lack skill because you're a beginner. You have challenges because guitar is just hard. My fingers hurt. You have unrealistic expectations. You get bored. Everything's too complicated. I'll never be successful. You get my point, okay? So I'll just give you some tips, and then you can just go about having a miserable life. So let's get to that. Okay, now that you've accepted the path, we can move on to tip 1, and that would be to create no new plans. When you sit down and then you go to start your practice session, it's important that you have no goal in mind. Okay? So what I mean by this is you're not practicing towards anything in particular. You're not doing anything that is measurable. So you aren't able to go towards anything, really. The action of not formulating any plan in particular makes it seem as you're doing nothing, and then that can make you seem really sad, Like, oh, I've just been doing this for so long, but it's like, where is my time went? Nothing's happened. It's like, I still suck at this, Does that make sense? So this kind of thinking, the more you do it and practice it, your dreams will die. And that's okay. I mean, it's not like you would have gotten there anyway, like, let's be honest. With all that being said, let's head on to step number 2. I don't know why I put it before, but let's get to 2. Step 2 is easy. I just want you to be and stay comfortable. You can do that, right? Okay, so what I mean by this is you don't want to be practicing anything that's new, has some sort of new style, some sort of, I don't know, just anything new, man. It's all bad for you. We don't want you to be struggling, right? Struggling can lead to failure. And failure, that's not success, is it? Oh no. So all you have to do is just crawl into some place that is comfortable and warm and just wait. Wait and wait and wait for the light that will come for sure one day. Probably. Sitting at number 3, your challenge, whether you choose to accept it or not, it consists of finding any problems you may encounter in your guitar journey. So, for example, that can mean blaming that your guitar is just not expensive enough. Or, for example, your genetics that your parents gave to you. Like, oh my god, look at these fingers. You see that? They're not fit for guitar. It's just not going to work out. You understand that? So what I want you to be doing is developing the victim mindset. And what that lets you do is it will shorten your tolerance for mistakes that you may encounter, your flexibility problems. All of it will just be blamed, and you can sit pretty knowing that you have done nothing wrong. You are perfect, and you should never change who you are for the better. As a bonus tip, you can also develop a mantra. One in particular could be, what did I do to deserve this? Why is the world so against me? What did I do to everyone? Why didn't I subscribe to this guy's channel? Like, what am I doing? You get that? Okay, let's get to the next one. For number 4, I will be sharing with you a story. You just looked like you were raring to get to hear one, right? Anyways, once upon a time, in the beginnings of my guitar journey, I was learning a new technique. I saw something on YouTube, I was like scrolling, I'm like, oh, I think it's pretty cool. So, that thing was called slapping. Fingerstyle slapping. And anyways, I'm like, I can learn that. That doesn't violate my comfort zone. All good. That's all good. So I started doing that. I started slapping it around like that. Yep, we're pretty good. And I'm like, hey, I might want to share this with my parents. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah. So I walk up to the room. My parents there, they're staring at me. It's like, what are you holding the guitar for, huh? I was like, hey, my name is Skylar White, yo, and my husband is Walter White, yo. Oh, wait. I'm like, I'm going to play something for you. Yeah. So I start playing my guitar and I start slapping. And the result was they said it sounded awful. Yeah. It sounded pretty bad. Yeah. Moral of the story, kids, don't play for other people. They're just gonna judge you, laugh at you, criticize you, and make you feel like a worse guitarist than you really are. Even though you are pretty bad, let's be perfectly honest. So step 4 was all about developing your insecurity for playing guitar. And I want to say you're doing a pretty good job of it already. I know. You're talented in this aspect. I know. I'm speechless too. I can't believe you're already here. I'm so happy to have been able to help you become a squib of the musical world. You have come to a grand realization that guitar is not worth it. You have to learn the puzzles that are tablature, and after that, you don't even remember them. They just fly out of your head to who knows where. The attributes of patience and persistence, those are qualities that you no longer need, because you are no longer going to be a guitarist. Isn't that wonderful? Why aren't you smiling? Have you by chance come to regret your decisions? Something wrong with your head? After all this effort I've put in? Seriously? This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Wow, I tried my best. That's all I could do. I'm out.